Good morning. It's fancy coffee time. I'm a little sleepy. I slept at good morning, Jabba. You guys have no idea how much I have to sanitize this island because of her. Like, all the time, good morning, purr butt. She slept on me all night, but it wasn't enough human love. She needs more. Good morning, my pretty. Little Miss Purr butt. We have the griddle here because I need to clean it. That's why. I need to clean my griddle. I'm so tired. Step class took me out yesterday. I didn't even go work the brinery Friday night. I had so much shit to do. Kitty butthole. That's a violation. That's a violation. Just zero respect. Is that enough? Is that enough, mama love? Okay. Go lay down with daddy. Mommy will make her coffee and I'll come cuddle you, okay? I have to go back to bed and cuddle her. It's Sunday snuggles, okay? There's the thing we have in our house. Let's get our coffee going first. Chubby. She ain't gonna stop today. She ain't. I had such a busy weekend and I forgot about so many things. See, this is why I can't live without Google Calendar. Because I forgot to put things in my Google Calendar, which is what resulted in me forgetting things, okay? This toasted marshmallow syrup has me in a chokehold, okay? I can't explain to you how good it is. You just gotta go find it. So good. Cortado is the flavor of the day. Oh my God, I almost started that without a coffee cup under it. Anyways, I forgot to go to fire cider making yesterday, so that's a blast. Chef Mike, he's on duty already, yelling at me. Spoil my milk. So I texted Maddie Friday night, and I was like, hey, do you really need me? Because I had a million things to do. And she was like, I'll take time with you any day because I love you. But they didn't need me. I hope they didn't get crushed. Oh, I hope they didn't get crushed. But, so I stayed home Friday and I got some things around the house that needed to be done. Practiced the cool down, which I did in class yesterday. And I bit the dust in class yesterday. I just, sometimes balance. That's all I gotta say. My right ankle kind of rolled. It got caught on my pants, and then it got caught on the step, and then it rolled, and I went down in front of everybody. And the amount of moms in that room that panicked for me, it was beautiful because they were all like so concerned. But I got right back up and I got right back to it, and that makes me proud because before, let me tell you. Okay, hold on. By the way, do you guys see my new friend Theodore? This is Theodore, also known as Teddy the Tea Kettle. Okay, he's my new birthday present and I love him. I never knew the difference in flavor of tea when you brewed at the right temperature. But now, like, oh, it's over. I just got that yesterday. I had 3 cups of tea. It was so good. 3 cups of tea yesterday. Anyways, we got a lot of new people here. So I figured today is the perfect time to tell you about my foot because everyone's asking what happened to your foot. So with my foot, I have severe post-traumatic arthritis in it. Like so much arthritis that when my doctor tries to give me cortisone in my ankle, it's near impossible to find an area that the needle will go in. Okay, that's why I don't go get the cortisone because last October, that was the last one I got. It hurt so bad, him trying to get it in my foot. He had to like go in and out and out. He even looked at my husband. He was like, do you see this? That's because there's arthritis everywhere and I can't find anywhere to put the cortisone in. Okay. But anyways, February 22nd, 2020, I went to an event. It was a drag queen bingo. And I walked out of the building to call my husband and check on him. And what I thought was like a little step was a much bigger step out of the building. There were no lights on, anything like that. And when I stepped, my body was like prepared for like a 3-inch drop, but it was much bigger and my foot shattered and dislocated on impact, okay? So I'm like crawling around army style on the ground, trying to get somebody inside to see me. My phone flew all the way over there when I walked out of the building. So get somebody to come get me. And then they come out and they're like, get up. And I'm like, I can't, like my foot is broken. And they're like, no, it's not. And I was like, yeah, it is. So we go to the hospital. Sure enough, it's shattered and dislocated. Well, the injury was so severe, there were so many breaks that they needed to do surgery, but they couldn't. So they put me to sleep. They relocated, they like put my foot back into its socket. And they were like, we're gonna put you in surgery in a couple days. to put an X-Fix on because we need the swelling to go down to do surgery. So they put this big X-Fix on my foot, and it's got rods going through my calves and my heels, and there's just metal all over. My foot's still shattered, right? So I go home. I'm home for about a week, week and a half. Get up one morning, I get on my knee scooter to go to the bathroom, and I go around the bed, and the brake line on my knee scooter was sticking out, and it caught my husband's foot. So when I'm trying to still move, my husband's foot grabs the scooter and it flips it this way, and the scooter throws me this way into the wall, and guess what? I landed on my already broken foot. So I shattered and dislocated again. Now at this point, there's over 30 breaks in my foot. We had to call 911. They came. They had to give me medicine that scared the life out of me just because I was in so much pain to get me loaded into the ambulance. We get to the hospital. This is now the second break. The doctor, same doctor, comes in and he looks at the x-ray and he's like, oh my God. He's like, how did you do this? Like hand in head and everything. So his reaction scared me even more. Well, turns out I was very lucky on that second break. Never thought I'd say that out loud. But very lucky on that second break because with those rods and everything in my foot, I could have lost a limb if they would have hit my veins, you know, in a certain way. So by the time I fell the second time, this X-Fix is like completely mangled on my foot. And that's why the paramedics were so urgent to like, we need to give you this medicine and we need to get you to the hospital because you could lose your foot. And I was like, okay. So get to the hospital. Again, swelling is so bad, even more so now because I've fallen twice and shattered twice and dislocated twice. So I'm in the hospital for a few days, then they do a reconstruction surgery, right? That was one of the most traumatic things I've ever been through because the doctor was a piece of shit. Anyways, a year goes by. Well, after the surgery, that's when the world was shut down, right? So I go for my follow-up after my surgery, and he's like, oh, everything looks good. Start walking 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks. It was one of the two, but I pushed it off longer to like 8 weeks. And I looked at him. I was like, no physical therapy, nothing. He was like, the world's shut down. What do you want me to do? So I didn't go to physical therapy. So for approximately a year and a half, I tried walking on my foot. And I would get so frustrated because I was in so much pain. Could not walk no matter how hard I try. And the doctors are making me feel like I'm just lazy, right? No. So some time goes by and I'm still in this much pain. Everybody's like, you need to get a second opinion. So I go get a second opinion from another doctor. He does an x-ray and he's like, okay, first of all, what I can tell you from the x-ray is we need a CT scan and you also don't need to be walking on a foot. Because guess who was walking on a broken foot? Me. So in that time that I was trying to walk, I was actually making it worse because nothing was healed and I was chipping away at bone that was not broken. It's great, isn't it? It's great. So I get my final reconstructive surgery, go to physical therapy 3 times a week for a year, and there's some days where I could take a couple steps. Other days where I'm in so much pain, I cannot put weight on a toe without screaming. So doctor kind of makes me think that I'm being lazy. This is the new doctor, and he's like, I'm giving you tough love. And I was like, yeah, but like, you don't understand how much pain I'm in. So a year goes by, 2 years go by, I can't remember. And needless to say, we end up back in the office. This was a year after the surgery. Yeah, a year after the final reconstructive surgery, and it hadn't healed. And he was like, okay, well, this is how much pain you're gonna be in, and it's not healed. So then we discussed possible fusion amputation surgery in the future. And he just basically told me, deal with it however long you can. When you can't take any more, come back. I'm like, okay. So 2 years go by. And then this is last year when I was in so much pain. It was July. It had been like 2 weeks where I couldn't even put weight on my foot without screaming. And we go back. And he's like, hey, good news. Your foot finally healed. Like the bone grew. And I was like, why does it hurt so bad? So I have severe post-traumatic arthritis in my foot. Yeah, that's why it hurts so bad. And then after that appointment, I was like, okay, well, my foot's healed. What do I do about it? Like, I want to walk. I want to do all these things, but I'm in so much pain, but he says it's fixed. That's when I went down the rabbit hole of anti-inflammatory diet because we knew I had severe post-traumatic arthritis. And then that's when I knew that a lot of our physical ailments we deal with can be fixed or managed through our diet. That's why I do 80% anti-inflammatory diet, which is just super simple. It's whole foods, right? Lots of veggies, lots of leafy greens, whole grains. I ain't eating white rice. I want the brown rice. Give me the quinoa. Give me all the grains. Legumes, lots of beans. Lean meats, healthy fats. Anti-inflammatory fats are like avocado oil, olive oil, fish, the fats that you get from fish. You know, high in omega-3, low saturated fat. And that's what I've been doing. I've been training my body for strength and managing my pain through an anti-inflammatory diet. So that's where we are, okay? And I am flared up like a motherfucker today. Why, you may ask? Well, because yesterday I decided that I was gonna eat some sugar and maybe, or maybe not, a fried Cajun maple bourbon chicken bagel from Nothing Basic, okay? And fried food and sugar are two of my biggest flare-ups, and refined carbs, oh God. So I'm hurting today, but I know when I eat like that, we went to support my friend's bakery, okay? Nothing Basic over in Glassport, she's phenomenal. And after step class at the gym, we were like, hey, let's all go to breakfast. So we ended up at her bakery. Well, unfortunately, there's nothing anti-inflammatory in a bakery. Like, that would just be so silly to assume, wouldn't it? And so I was there with ladies from my gym and my friend Shayla, and we were like, let's just get whatever. So I got a bagel breakfast sandwich. I ate the breakfast sandwich, but I only ate half of the bagel. I didn't eat the other half. To me, it's not worth it to be in that much pain. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I'm flared up today, but I know that when I eat off track, I'm going to flare up. I look back at those years where I couldn't walk. Once we knew my foot was healed, right? And it was what I was eating. It was what I was drinking. I was an alcoholic. Alcohol is we all say, let's have a beer so we can numb our pain. Alcohol puts you in so much physical pain. You don't understand what you're doing to your body. And the alcohol companies aren't going to tell you that. Why'd they tell you that? You would stop buying their shit, right? You'd quit drinking. I had to learn the hard way. I had to lose time on my life sitting around in pain to the point where I just cried. I felt so worthless. I was tired of having people taking care of me. I was so sick and tired of getting in the bathtub and not being able to get out by myself, doing everything with someone else. I lost independence, And when I stopped drinking, it was like immediately I could feel my pain just lessening and lessening and lessening to the point where one day I went to get a pedicure and I was able to walk across the parking lot for the first time. I didn't have my cane, nothing. It was the most pain I'd ever been in. And I was like sweating. I was in so much pain, but I did it. And every little thing that I was able to do to prove to myself that I'm on the right path of changing and taking my life back, I just kept doing those things, right? And that's how we got to where we are right now, where I'm training for a half-mile marathon. I'm strength training in the gym. I'm down 125 pounds naturally through calorie deficit. I'm in therapy. I'm doing all these things, right? But it was that one instance of stepping out of a building that changed my life forever. So a fall in my noggin is catastrophic. And throughout those 5 years where I was disabled, almost 5 full years, every time I fell, I would go into pure panic. I would have a panic attack that would wipe me out for the rest of the day. Okay, my nervous system just could not handle it. But yesterday I fell in class. I got right back up and went gone. My butthole didn't pucker. My heart didn't race. I fell. I went down. Everybody stopped to make sure I was okay. And I was like, no, I'm good. And I got right back up and I was right back on that step. And Natalie in front of me, I love Natalie. I'll show you the video. I love Natalie because she turned around. She looked at me when I fell. She saw me get back up and she was like, all right, she's good. She's good. She's good. And then at the end of step class, when I did the cool down, our instructor, Tiffany, she was like, you went from thinking your foot was going to get amputated to falling off a step in step class. And Natalie was like, falling and getting back up. Falling and getting back up. That's what I did. I got back up. And that's a lot. That's so much about life, But I think the only reason why I could fall like that and get back up and not have the reaction of my nervous system and panic and the fear is because I've worked so hard to overcome those fears, okay? I've been in the gym 5 days a week. I think in the last 15 months, there's only been one day or 1 week where I wasn't in the gym and I had the flu. Okay? I was in bed for 8 days. That's the only place I was visiting was my germ-ridden bed. But I've proven to myself by doing the work that I don't have to be scared. That if I do fall, it's not going to drastically change my life because I've built my strength. I'm building my balance. My reaction to a fall now, when I fell, I just went down, right? I didn't try to stop it or nothing. But before, when I would fall, I would I would get hurt trying to stop the fall more than anything because I just didn't trust myself to fall. Now I just fall and I get back up. And that is on growth. That is, and if I told my husband when I showed him, because he was laughing his ass off when he saw the fall video. We all were, okay? Like, I sent it to my girl Natalie. I was like, you get sneak peek preview. Because she said, I can't wait to see the footage. Now we can laugh about it. Whereas even him, a year ago, if I would have fallen, he would have panicked. Because he knows the catastrophe that we lived through, you know? So I'm really, really proud of myself. I look at stuff like that. It's just like you see so much growth, right? And how can you not celebrate that? So what is it you're working on? Like, what is it that the fear that you want to overcome? You don't have to put it in the comments. You do not have to put your business out there. But think about it, right? Like, what is the thing that when you interact with it, it triggers your nervous system to a point where you're like, panic. You know, what is it that you could work on overcoming and how can you get there? I can tell you one of the things I did to get there was I started facing fear. I started not letting fear hold me back anymore. I started doing the things that my husband told me I probably shouldn't do because he was worried I would get hurt. So, and every time I did something he told me not to do, I'd show him video and he'd be like, wow, babe, good job. You know, because I had to have a talk with him actually early on in my health journey. I remember one day I had to have a talk with him. Me and my best friend TJ. I can't remember all of the details of what it was, but we went and we did something. And we showed him video or told him about something funny I did. For all I know, it was like me jumping on a grocery cart and letting TJ push me around. We're idiots when we go out together, okay? And my husband, we told him about it and he was like, well, babe, you gotta be careful. You know, we always called him the fun sucker because he would never let me and TJ have the fun we wanted to have because he was always so worried I was gonna get hurt. So his nickname became the fun sucker. And he like started lecturing me and TJ was like, you know what? Sanjay, that's his nickname. Sanjay and White Horse and Mr. Buttercup. He's got a lot of them. He's like, you know what, Sanjay? Every party needs a pooper. And that's you. But the reason why my husband was that way is because he knew how much a fall changed our life. So it was after that he did that with me and TJ. Him and I, we were laying in bed. And I was like, Jason, I like rolled over. I was like, we need to have a talk. Because if I don't say this, I'm going to get very fucking annoyed. And I don't want to snap on you. And he was like, what's up, babe? And so I told him. I said, listen, what I'm doing now in my journey, I understand you don't like it. I understand there are a lot of things that scare you. But when I go to do something, or when I do something that is overcoming a fear, I need you to just shh, just like that. If I don't get hurt, I need you to keep your fears to yourself because I'm facing mine. And he looked dead at me and he said, okay, babe, I just don't want you getting hurt. I said, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I know I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. But if I keep being scared of doing things because I might fall, because this might happen, I'm never going to get to where I want to be. Gucci. He's never tried to stop me again. And that was just like that open communication that I was scared to have. And my therapist is always like, why are you scared to have open communication with your husband? I don't know. Because he's never reacted in a negative way. He's never like been mean to me. Like my husband is the biggest fucking teddy bear. I am his prized possession, okay? He's never given me a reason to think he's not my biggest supporter. So why am I always scared? And my therapist explains it as because he is the one person I don't want to let down. My whole life, I've always not wanted to let everybody down. So I was doing everything for everybody. But he is the one person that I don't ever want to let down. I don't want him to be disappointed in me. And my therapist is like, Desiree, it's normal in a marriage for both people to let each other down and come back from it. So you can't let that fear hold you back from openly talking to your husband about things that bother you. And I'm like, okay, I get it. My therapist is the best therapist I've ever had in my entire life. Like, she's been specializing in trauma therapy like her whole career, and you can tell because she's phenomenal. Anyways, my husband now sees videos of me falling at step class. And instead of telling me how careful I need to be, we laugh at them together. That's growth for both of us, right? Because before he'd be like, nope, babe, I don't think you should go back to that class. You could have gotten hurt. And now it's just like, he was like, look, you got back up and you did it. And then you did cool down in front of the whole class. And I was like, yeah, to the most beautiful song. So that's the fear I've overcome. And the thing about PTSD, especially CPTSD, is that I can have this completely under control this week, and the next week I have a bunch of triggers, and a fall might send me into a panic. No one's perfect, and my husband understands that. He understands that, like, this week everything is Gucci, but next week if I'm super stressed out and I take a little tumble, it might make me cry. Okay? Because that's just how your brain works, especially with post-traumatic stress disorder, things of that nature. Those triggers are always still there, but we can work on them consciously, which is what I do by facing my fears every day. Okay? Now, I'm not going to be crazy. We ain't going out. We ain't rock climbing or all that. I do want to do one of the indoor rock climbings. But when I mentioned, like, real life rock climbing to my husband, he's like, no. No. that one ain't going to happen. But I'm very proud of him for being able to let go of me so much in the terms of the protection, because he is so protective. He saw me in those 5 years I was disabled. I don't know how many times I fell and got hurt. I would fall and just not be able to move the next day because my whole body tensed and reacted. And then, of course, you have the nervous system reaction too, which affects your body. So, yeah, I'm really, really proud of myself. So step class was great. Shayla came, my friend Shayla from Berg Eats and Treats. She had a blast. I think we're going to get her there more often. She was like, oh my God, this is great. I was like, I know. And so many beautiful, amazing, strong women showed up, and that room was just filled with love and light and energy and support, and the things they said about me and to me before I led step class, or before I led the cool down. I almost cried. I waited until I got home and went through the footage, and then I bawled my eyes out. I still have to post that. But here's a funny story. CapCut doesn't like to let me edit my videos anymore. I got all the editing done, and then I went to save it, and my CapCut crashed like 5,000 times. They need to get their shit together, because you have no clue how many videos I just keep scrapping because I can't fucking edit it because CapCut, and I pay for it. Anyways, so things I'm grateful for. Overcoming fear. Every single day I get up and I get out of bed, I'm overcoming a fear. Because the minute my foot hits that ground, I know I'm going to feel pain in my body. And I don't let it stop me anymore, right? I don't. I push through the pain. When I'm hurting, I will be even more physically active to push through that pain, to prove to myself I can do it. So that's the first thing I'm grateful for. Second thing I'm grateful for is my gym family, my gym community, Jessica, my coach, Flash Fitness, Tiffany from Transforming Bodies. Jessica said to me yesterday, because Erica, Mama Loves Macros, came to a workout too. I forgot to mention she was there. And she sent me a voicemail. She said, your friend that showed up, Erica, she said, brought me to tears with the hug she gave me. She said, I've never felt a more warm and loving hug from someone I've never met before in my life. And she said, I'm finally finding my people through Flash Fitness. And that's such a beautiful thing, because when I look at like the women in that room, like we're all chasing something, right? We're chasing strength, we're chasing community, we're chasing physical wellness. And I used to think that like the friends that I had that would be like lifelong friends, I used to think that like we were really aligned. And I think back then we were. But my dreams have shifted. My consciousness has shifted. And so a lot of the people I was close to, I'm I'm not close to anymore. And I realized it's because I needed room for the people that I'm fully aligned with. Like Sudbilly, like Maddie, like Jess, like Jess, like Jess, like Jess. There's a lot of fucking Jesses, okay? Like Tiffany, like all these beautiful people. And we're all chasing just being better versions of ourselves. I've never had a group of friends like this, and it feels amazing, you know? Like, it feels like, okay, this is what I deserve. I deserve a group where there's no cattiness, there's no high school drama, there's no bullshit. It's just us trying to be good humans and work on ourselves. And it feels really nice. It feels really nice. Like Sudbilly, she's like my sister. I never knew I needed a sister like Sudbilly. I just like, okay, this is, you guys think me and Sudbilly are close. You have no idea how much I fucking love that woman. So I have to explain to you that last weekend was Sudbilly's first time meeting Erica, Mama Loves Macros, right? And Sudbilly we've been friends for years. She has seen a lot of shit happen, okay? She has been there for me through a lot of shit. And we were at Saging Space for our manifestation thing, our vision boards. I can't even remember what happened, but Sudbilly straight up looked at Erica and was like, you better not fuck Desiree over. Like, I've seen a lot of people fuck her over, and like, I'm here and you better not. And Erica was just like, wow, I'm so happy she has a friend like you because I want her to be protected from shitty people. And so when I say that, like, the people I have now, I had friends before that would sit in a room with people talking shit about me and nod their heads. But I have friends now who will straight up look at new people being brought into the group and be like, don't try to fuck with them. Don't you dare, because I'm right here. And that's the difference. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a big difference. And even like as far as like a couple friends I lost a couple months ago, this one friend called me and she said, we're all talking about you in the group chat. What group chat? I didn't know there was a group chat of my friends talking about me, but thank you for telling me. That's exactly what I'm saying. You're aligning yourself with the wrong people. So now I'm aligned with the right people. The people that are not going to talk about me in a group chat. The people that are not going to make their own assumptions about me. The people that are going to openly listen with their hearts and be there for me, and I will be there for them. So I'm very grateful for my group of friends that I have built. And it's more like family. Like, the love between these people is beautiful. Speaking of friends, I'm going to be with a bunch of them today, okay? Because there's Shayla Penn from Berg Eats and Treats. She has her Super Bowl competition. So it's at Acrospire Brewing. It's $5 to get in. You get to taste test all the soups. There's over 20 soups. People are competing in a soup competition, and I get to be a judge. Now, did I really think about that yesterday when I already flared my foot up at Nothing Basic Bakery? Not really. But it's okay. It's okay. I'll hop on the treadmill or something. Make it better. Make it worse. Whatever. You know. Whatever. Anyways, third thing I'm grateful for is toasted marshmallow syrup because it has me in a chokehold. Okay, gotta go. Love you. Bye.